We should treat this call as just like a bit of a catch up, a refocus, maybe because I know that in all the time we haven't been speaking, I'm sure you've been watching lots and lots of YouTube videos on how to grow
No.
online businesses.
Yes. I've been watching lots and lots of YouTube videos, and and that's why I got to that list, where I just got to the list that you can't have a business. You have to simply, there was lots of, you can talk a lot, but boils down to number one, you have to get people to talk to. Number two, you have to have a blue sky offer. Number three, you have to uh, close the people. Number four, you have to execute your offer. And number five, you must get a way to effectively go to number one. And
Yeah.
each
So when you
one,
said when you said about 100 hours of learning, I'm assuming you meant 100 hours
hundreds,
of putting that stuff into practice, yes?
something like that. It's something 100 hours of practice putting it. So if I just
Okay,
say
good. Because when I first read it, I thought you meant that you needed to like study for 100 hours before you could do anything. And I was like, no, 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 no.
so what I thought is number one, to get people to talk to. I've been watching lots of videos about where, to get people to 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 get people on a call. So first, I'm just thinking, um, I'm if I don't make sense, is just let me know. It is, so you get people to get people to talk to. You have to do what you do, for example, on LinkedIn. There's a certain social media strategy, posting videos with certain information, and then um, the coach, basically the coach's LinkedIn profile must be in a certain format. And I've also got to the idea that, my offer, it doesn't have to be technical. When I speak to a person, because they don't understand it, they don't know anything, it has to be a one sentence that explains exactly what you do, and without being confusing. I call it to my 12-year-old daughter should be able to understand. If it should be so simple, and the wording must be so simple and effective that a 12-year-old or 10-year-old would be able to understand it.
So why don't the rolling back, why don't you think that you already have that?
Uh, I don't know. I rewrote it. I wrote it again, and then I looked at I looked at your LinkedIn profile and what I had on my profile, and then I changed a bit about it, and I watched a couple of more videos. As you mentioned, I did watch a lot of videos, and I found there's a there's a app called, it's an extension for Chrome, called Wallaxy. And I found that I found videos about LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and there's one called Wallaxy, Waal, like Galaxy, just Wallaxy. And with Wallaxy, you can makes email campaigns, and it automates a lot of what I would have done manually. Automates a lot of it. And so I've been watching a lot of videos, and I found, I'm so basically so confused about, um, that's why I got to the whole thing. Is I have to get people to talk to. I have to have an offer that is mind blowing, compelling, and it has to be simple worded, because it's a I'm selling, what's a selling marketing. I'm helping people in a transformation.
Hmm.
So it is, how do they get from A to B with what I've got?
So that's exactly what we've been working on to this point, and
Yes.
it feels like, and I get it because I've been in that position and I probably still am that person from time to time. It sounds like you're hunting around for like the secret that is going to suddenly make this all work.
I
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but it doesn't
you
exist outside of
no, it doesn't. No.
doing what we've been doing and just like the last point that you put on that about, I don't know if 100 hours is the correct amount, but getting to that point of realizing what you need, it comes from putting in lots of hours of testing what you've got so far. So I don't want to throw away everything we've done to this point. Like what's you're talking about LinkedIn now, which is fine. We can talk about that in the future. And also don't use my profile as a guide yet, because I actually hired a LinkedIn coach myself, and I've got a massive list of to-dos that I need to do for that profile, and I've also hired a person to make the banner for me. So that's all going to be changing.
That's exactly.
We can talk about LinkedIn, but like going back to what we were doing before, of like you had this at the time, you said endless list of people you could contact with this offer.
Yes.
How do you feel about that now? What's happening there?
I just feel that the list is that is just general. That's everybody. And I thought that I would rather I would have to, and this is from all the videos that I've watched, is niche down. Go to, for example, estate agents with blue Ford Fiestas living in Chafford where you are at the moment.
I want to know where you got that. I want to know where you got that address from, because I haven't lived there since 2014.
No, it was on your. It was. I think it was on your. It was on your invoice.
Was it?
Yes, I think it was in your invoice. It was like a there was a freeze, like a what's it called, a detached house with I can still image it now on my mind from Street View. But anyway,
that's really odd. Yeah, I don't know where I would have used that address.
Yeah, but anyway, I have to. I just thought that this the what I think the offer, the 5 points or the 4 points I have is a framework. I can take that framework and apply it to electricians, to certain industries. But when I look at for example, when I go on YouTube and I have a look at a channel and I see the person's posting videos about whatever, blue cars, and then about it's not consistent. It's all over the place, and then it gets confusing. So I thought I have to stick to one thing, niche down to one thing, and just focus on that. And
yeah, which I think, again, everything that we've done, but just go on, like, instead of trying to exhaust this list of different businesses, go with estate agents. Like, that's the only tweak we need to make. We don't need to be throwing out and changing everything here. If anything, I would implore you to block out all the other noise that you get. What you're like with business is what I'm like with golf. So I love golf. I love to get better at golf, and it's something that I'm really trying to improve in. So I watch tons and tons of different YouTube videos on the golf swing and game management and what clubs to use and all these other stuff. And I'm always chopping and changing to the point where I never get focused enough to work on a technique and a way of playing long enough that it actually brings good results. So for you, maybe it's a case of just stop watching YouTube videos. Maybe stop watching YouTube videos on strategy, because these people that are creating this content are always going to make a really good case for the strategy that they are proposing. And it could be a strategy that works, but if you're constantly moving around to different stuff all the time, then it's going to be harder to actually move forward in a positive direction. So what you said in your message is absolutely right. You need to be consistently getting calls, which I thought we had, but maybe we need to tweak who you're actually going after and how you're getting them. An offer, which is a no-brainer offer. Like again, from the conversations we had before about how many leads people are actually getting, buyer and seller leads, and how you're doing, getting the 70 to 100 leads without ads. That's a massive hook
You know what?
for any estate agent to say, okay, yeah, that sounds good. Let's have a conversation.
Now, what I thought I think the word is to pivot. Is I was pivoting. I was focusing on buyers, and I should be focusing on sellers, and because at the end of the day, those are the people. If I can have, and I've seen it in the properties that I've done in the past, or in all the ones, is if I have a property that's priced at the right price or with the market percent, I don't even have to look for buyers. They just they just swamp you. That's so I thought I would have to be rather focusing on buyers, and then I got once again YouTube videos. There's a guy with the name of Mike Sherrard, and I've watched a few of his videos, and one of them was a content strategy for estate agents, and I thought that would be something that I can put in my, I don't know if it's my offer, but in the execution of
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. And that's one of the areas that we were going to have a call on once we'd got a good flow of people coming into your pipeline and having calls, was talking about content strategy. So that makes sense to kind of learn about that, because you can basically learn it yourself and teach it to other people too, which is absolutely fine. In terms of like the strategy to grow the business, I already think we're on a good line in that sense. So yeah, pivoting to focusing on seller leads, and only reaching out to estate agents. So again, we always want to leverage. Oh, just another point on the content actually.
Yep.
I don't feel like you need to be too focused at this stage on creating an amazing content strategy. What I would love to see from you first is, getting your first one or two clients in this more outbound method, which is you going and speaking to people directly. And when you've got that system perfected, and you can actually, get people on calls consistently, close one or two clients a month, then you can think, okay, how can we start bringing in more inbound leads, which is stuff with content marketing and advertising.
Because I've got a friend of mine, that I see almost every day, my coffee partner, morning coffee partner, and he's building an app, something for farmers, that connect to the market, and they give them market intelligence and prices and all that. And this is he's like this is just my how I say Casper. His name's Casper. I'm basically in the same situation as him. You must first get the client that pays you, and you get money in, so you get a cash flow, and then when you've got money, when somebody paid you, and your appointment starts in a week from today, you got money to go and learn something and do something, so you can start doing something. When your appointment arrives, your day of your appointment, you've got something. The most important thing is to get an appointment and get somebody to pay you as soon as possible. So you got a cash flow. And
exactly. And the stuff you're talking about, and like the content marketing strategies, organic marketing strategies, social marketing strategies, Facebook advertising, YouTube advertising, that's all stuff to scale. Let's first get some people through the door, get them paying you money, get you actually delivering the service, because we still don't fully know how you're going to do that yet. And that's the stuff you're going to learn in the beginning, which is, I know it's going to be scary, but that's just part of the process.
Can I share my screen with you? and I just show you what I'll show you what I've been. Pardon for interrupting you. It's
That's okay.
I just want to show you. If you can just enable screen sharing there.
Oh, I need to do that. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Let's see that's a screen share. This one. Okay. This is the screen. This is okay. This is what I've used to this Wallaxy Wallaxy app. Just a moment. I'm recording our conversation on video in the background. So, okay. Just wanted to change OBS screen. So okay, this is the app called Wallaxy that I've basically just went on. I'm sure you've done this probably dozens or hundreds of times. And let me just give you there a heart there for and
Bless you, thank you.
I will have to just write a comment there as well and I'll write a comment there for you for interaction as well. But I've changed my banner a bit, and then I went to this Wallaxy app. It's currently, I think I'm not even sure if this is the correct, if it's a correct version. And then I can just type estate agent's location and I can select, for example, UK, and I'll get 50,000 results. And then you go to this, this is from what I found on YouTube. This is let me go to Pretoria because I already made that. South Africa. Then you get this list is 993 people, and you go to Wallaxy, and you can import. Okay, I will have to change. It just says start a new campaign, and it's currently importing all these names to Wallaxy.
Yep.
And confirm. So something is scanning there. And basically what Wallaxy does is from it writes or it assembles his name and it automatically sends messages to people. So between 5 to 7 messages per day, I think, something like that, until it goes through the whole list. And it varies the message, so it just changes the words around automatically. So I don't have to so it doesn't.
But if you're not connected with them, you can't send them a message. Only certain people you can if they've got InMail enabled, or if you've got Sales Navigator. Have you got Sales Navigator?
Not yet. I've got. No. So I have to.
But even then, I think you're restricted to a certain amount of messages that you can send directly to people.
Yes, and that's what the Wallaxy. Yeah, let me just change it to English there for you. But there's this Wallaxy, and there's another one that does similar things. You know what? I'm just thinking out loud. I don't. This is, the reason why I'm looking for this is because I feel you would know better, that I feel this is a much more effective way than to going and spending and calling 1,000 people from my phone from my phone book.
Possibly. I mean that. I can only come back to the initial results that you were getting. I know you didn't make any sales, but you were getting a lot of people on calls. Like your conversion rate to getting people on calls was very good. So that makes me think that you know, it could be like, how many calls did you have?
Something like 20 or so. So 50, 15, 20, something like that. No, not a lot. But I stopped making the calls
And no sales, obviously.
no, because yeah, I just because I felt that I'm going all over the place. I'm not focused
On the call, you mean?
on my niche on the
Okay.
I'm not focused and this is let's go to YouTube.
Okay, so next question then. Again, because the first port of call in all of this is to leverage your existing network. So who do you have in your existing network that will fit the bill in terms of who you want to contact?
And my current, what I've done in the past, what I've done in the so far is I went onto Facebook and I searched. Just change it to English there for you. Okay, basically what I did was I went on Facebook and I searched for estate agents groups, for example, this one, and in UK or South Africa, wherever, went on people. Then I started sending friend requests to the people in the group, and I got accepted by quite a few of these people.
Yeah.
And the more I sent them, the more messages I sent, the more people started inviting me. All the other estate agents started inviting me. And
inviting, like sending friend requests to
yes,
you.
yes, sending friend requests to me. So because they see other people or estate agents, and I'm trusted, and then it just basically accelerates it. So I've been the last few days, last week or so is I've been sending between 5 and 7 friend requests per day on to groups like this. Let me just go to this. It's this one. I think there's a lot of people in this one. More than 5,000. So I went to this people, and then there's people that are that I have something in common. So I'm connected to. So we've got mutual friends, and I've been sending friend requests to many of these people every day. So that okay. So
have you started following up with them?
No, I haven't. So my this is what where I got this, but I think where this Wallachie comes in, is that I have to have a certain message in a certain way to catch to get their attention. Because I don't know about you, but I get a lot of friend requests from people that they look completely weird to me. They, for example, I get this. I don't know. I've got from Bible, from like Christian people that got all these Bible verses all over their profile.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the step where I'm at the moment is step 1. This is the getting the call, people on the call.
Going back to your okay. So you said you had 15 or 20 calls and no sales. Okay, that's a better amount of calls, because I think the last time we spoke you'd only had about 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So for me that's enough to be able to say, okay, something in this isn't working. It could be the people, or it could be how the calls themselves are going, because getting people onto the calls to get 15, 20 calls booked in a few weeks like that was pretty good going. Like that's a lot more than I get in that same time period. So do
Yeah,
you think, a question to you then, do you think that it's the people or how the calls themselves are going?
I think this is how the call themselves are going. I think that's yes. I don't know. It's. I don't know. It's I
Okay, so what if, like, looking at your existing network again, you've got lots of contacts. Is there a way that you can weed out the estate agents from that? Have you got many estate agents in your existing network?
no, none. Very little. Very few. It's
Okay,
maybe 10. They are basically my competitors. They are basically doing exactly what I'm doing. So what I wanted to also like sort of pivot to is even if it's people that are because I want to my idea is to eventually step out of the estate agent business and get those people that are in the other estate agents to teach them the same thing that I'm to get them to be to get them as coaching clients. That's my. You just said something that made me that I think that I didn't think before, and that is to contact people, estate agents that are on my current network. You know, a few days ago, I met a few days ago at my one of my favorite coffee places. I met a lady. She's the owner of an estate agency. She's owner of a estate agency of the principal estate agent. And she started talking about how we get. She wanted to do a fun run or something for. Let me just change my screen again. She wanted to do a fun run, fundraising for a school for a person that need a wheelchair and all that. And I thought, why don't we just do? And she wanted to go and do flyers, all this 1985 type of advertising. And I just suggested to her, she's my direct opposition, my direct competition. Why don't you just do it with a video? Do a video. The town where we are. There's 16,000 people in the Facebook group. Just go and do videos. Touch people's emotions. Go and make a video about something about the school. Don't go and make it 10 or 15 minutes. You make 1 minute of 30 minutes, 30 seconds clips about whatever the school is doing, or because people are selfish. Even though they might be in a giving mind, you must still remind them all the time about this problem. What can they get? What is there in it for them to give to the school? So all this that I'm talking to you is, but I haven't done myself. Actually, I've just watched the videos of people doing this, and that's just how I thought about. And then I told her about Kartra, and then I just once again I think I mentioned it before, is I don't have to, because I still have to have an offer. I have to have a sentence that is in one simple that a 10-year or 12-year-old can understand. And I shouldn't think just because me and Casper are friends that he's going to do what I recommend him. He's not. And the same with this woman, with this lady. I can tell her, she said, "Yeah, I must come into their office and show them everything." And I thought, if she's got 5 agents, maybe I can come there and I can, but I would just want to first get my offer straight. So if I go there and do a presentation, it would be or get her on get them her and all agents on a line. I should have something to hook them.
So something different from what you're currently offering? Is that what you're saying?
I should have the same thing that I'm offering at the moment. Can you still see my screen?
No, I stopped it. I didn't realize you was still wanted it. Sorry.
Okay. I just want to show you something. I've been adding to. Let me just share my screen again for a moment. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is basically what I've been distracting myself with over the last. So if this is basically the blue, this is the execution part. I think is what I've been thinking of here, and then then I've got, because my mind's all over the place. I've used. You've showed me your Excel sheet once, about how you get things organized, and I made this. I've used Trello because I don't know how, really what else to do, how to do it, and I've just been working. This is basically finding SMMA coaching clients. This is from videos that I've found on YouTube, where to get clients from. It's different methods of getting clients. Yeah, so I can stop. You can stop sharing the. So just this is from the content strategy stuff that I'm listening to them, and I'm going, and whatever the people are talking, and then I'm just typing it out, sitting and typing it all out. And I'm just using, once again, my colleague, Niku, who's also an estate agent, and he, let me just show you Facebook again. This is what he does. And I'm probably repeating myself again, but because my mind, I'm right. Me and my wife, we started this page. So this is what Niku does. He just posts photos, pictures, static pictures. Yeah. And he posts the same thing. He just repeats them all the time posts the same photos and he posts them in Facebook groups. And what I found is what I've done on, and I spoke to him and I said, would it be better? It's not doing any lead capturing. You're not making any videos. But see, this thing seemed to be working for him, but he's not capturing any leads. And so what I've done in one of my ads is I just wrote there some information, and I wrote there under the ad, leave your email, leave your name, just post your email below, and I'll send you the link with the details. And I got a few leads from that.
So are you looking to potentially sign Nico as a client? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Nico, he's proprietor and I'm proprietor. But actually, as you know, when you're a estate agent, you're basically a self-employed. Every other estate agent is your direct competition. Is directly your direct competitor. Even though I can, if I have a buyer, if I'm looking for someone, I can advertise his properties, But my idea is, I would like to have him sign up to Kartra. I'd like to have him the same thing. He's to become a coaching client.
Okay, so why can't you? He's a friend of yours, yeah?
Yes.
So would you, as an opportunity to start working with someone directly to test, how you want to do this and to get a testimonial at the other end of it, would you be prepared to sign him as a big discount given that he's your friend?
I would. And what I was even thinking is if I, part of an offer, if I have a money back guarantee, so something like a 30 days money back offer. If for I was considering working for free for once or for one or two people. And then I thought, no, maybe I would just have to rather working for free, doing something like this for somebody for free to get referrals. I would offer a money back.
What I'm fearful of with that offer is that someone will take it and they'll think, yeah, great, we're going to do this and we're going to, try it. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't cost me anything. If they already know that and they get, a couple of weeks into working with you and they try some stuff and it doesn't quite work, if they then check out and they think, well, there's no point this isn't going to work. I know I can get my money back. We won't really try and we'll get the money back at the end. I would rather you have people with skin in the game that know that, that money is gone, that money is invested. Now let's try and make it work. So I think a better way to approach this with Nico in particular would be to just offer a big discount on the front end. So say, this is what it's going to be to everyone else, but to you, because I want to help you. I want to get a client in. I want to work with people. I want to get a testimonial. I want to offer it for, I don't know, $1,000 instead of $1,500, or even $750.
This company, this Linear Plastics and Packaging, they were once one of my. I went to my first coaching that I ever had, paid coaching, and they were one of the called the CE. There was all this branding, all this copywriting names, fancy names, and they paid also like £3,500 equivalent for the coaching. But
for your coaching?
No, to this Andrew Smith.
Okay.
They paid for it, and they haven't done anything other than, you see, this was in 2017. They've done this 2017, 20. I think this is when we finished with it. And I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
I feel like your mind is all over the place.
My mind is all over the place. Yes, I'm not.
And again, I think it's coming back to this idea that if you just keep searching, you're going to find something that suddenly clicks and everything's going to be great. Yeah. If you do that and you suddenly decide you're going to do something totally different, we're basically wasted the first half of our time working together in that sense, which I really don't want to see, because a lot of the stuff that you're saying you want, you already have, and it's just a case of putting stuff into practice to actually perfect it or to improve it. So I want to come way back to what we've already done. We've already got a decent offer in place. Okay, we can niche down a little bit, going for seller leads, just speaking to estate agents.
Yes.
So let's talk about then who you've already got connected with you that is an estate agent. So earlier you said you don't have many people that are estate agents in your lead list or in your network.
Yeah.
But then you mentioned something about me trying to single out those people. So I wasn't quite sure if you do or don't have them.
No, I've got a few people that I know personally who are estate agents. And then.
But like you've got your contacts list. Is there a way to filter out estate agents from there?
Yes, I've got the word, for example, just agent with their name. So I've got the name, so that if I search for a name, I will have all the agent names, the people who are agents and that I'm connected with.
And do you have many of those?
I think it's about 10 or 15. Should be quite easy to see if I just type the word agent here in WhatsApp. Let me see.
Because priority number one, I think, to give yourself some confidence is to sign a client. And the quickest and easiest way to do that is going to be using what we've already created for you, maybe tweaking some of the wording and offering that as a service to estate agents that you're already connected with. And it's going back to what we're talking about and why we went this route in the first place. It was because you've already got some kind of relationship with these people. It's easier to have that rapport and to get them onto a call versus just messaging loads of random people on Facebook, hoping that one of them says, yes, let's jump on a call. So yeah, these 10 to 15, is that what it is?
Looks like it's more. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like I'm looking here at my list. It's probably about 30. It looks like it's about 30. Probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
30
12, 13,
estate agents in your contacts
14,
list.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 19, 20. 30 to, yeah, it's at least 30. At least 30.
30 plus.
30 plus, yes.
So the very next step, I would say, is do exactly what you were doing before with the video messages, personalized video messages that you were doing to get the 15, 20 calls that you got before. Use that exact same process and just go after these people in particular and see what happens.
Yeah.
See how many you get on a call, and obviously see what happens when they do get on a call. Offering the same services before. The offer that we've created is good.
Cool.
You don't need to completely change that. It's not the offer. It's just a case of finding the right people with the right message. It's as simple as that. So I'm still not totally convinced that the offer can't work with all of those contacts that you were working with before, talking to you before. It might just mean a case of improving or tweaking the closing part of it and how you speak to them and how you offer it.
I think that's also that. You know, one of the people that I spoke to when I set my price, and you know, and I just I think maybe I've told you that he just told me that how can you said to me, are you trying to saying that with a straight face?
Yeah.
you try to call out that the price with a straight face, but
the benefits to him were far greater than that, weren't they?
They were, exactly, but it is the matter of how do I it's probably how do I present it is probably once again one of the numbers game. If I don't get my friend Niku to sign up to using Kartra or to using what I am or using my offer, move on to the next person. There's just keep on moving down. Eliminate. It's a question of elimination.
Are you hesitant to offer it to Nico because you think it would hurt more if he said no?
I have offered to him before. I think this my mistake was that I've shown him the whole thing. I didn't show him. I didn't talk about the transformation. And first of all, I think he thinks his system works. He's been doing it the same thing for the last 10 years, and it's worked for him. And there's no need.
What does works mean exactly?
Okay, what works for him is
not. I don't want to know what the strategy is. I want to know. He says it works, so obviously he feels for the amount of effort he's putting in, he's already getting enough in return for that effort.
Yes, that's.
But if you, how much more could he potentially get with your system?
I think he can. I think he can. You know, if you just close one, if you just have one close in in the year, in like, for example, in 2022, if he has one more deal closed, it would be well worth his effort. But you know what?
But is that enticing to him?
I have, when I spoke to him, is I didn't ask him in this way. Would it be worth it? Would it be worth it? If do the sales talk to him? I just said, Nico, I've got this. I'm using Kartra. It's automated, the whole thing. I explained all the bells and whistles, and then I asked him, when it is available, and I showed him the whole system, how it works, the bells and whistles, and all the automations, and
all he's thinking is, I don't want to take on that work.
That is
I don't want to take on that work, and I'm not convinced that the work is going to be worth it in the end.
You're spot on there, because he just sees there's a lot of work, there's a lot of learning. It's a lot of learning. My system is working, and his system is basically posting his photos on Facebook, in the Facebook business page, and then posting it all over in 20 or 30 Facebook groups organically. This is his system. That's just and it's been working. And why should he do anything else?
Yeah. So you basically, going back again, you need to make it clear that it's not going to be a lot of work, because you're going to be working with him to implement it, and the potential reward is so much better, not just in terms of now, but in terms of his future, because he's building a database of leads that he can circle back to and make more from his existing clients, bring in new clients. There's just so much potential there. Yeah. So it's just getting him to see that, like the value in terms of the time and money it's going to cost him now, which is, if you give him a big discount, it's not a lot relative to what he can get out of it. However, even though you and I can sit here and say it's a no-brainer, there's always going to be people that just won't commit, because they're just never going to be convinced, or they just don't want to take on anything else. They're perfectly happy where they are. They might say they want more, but you have to want more and be prepared to put in the effort and the time to actually get more. And if he has zero interest in doing that, he might say no. That's not a reflection on you or your offer. That's just a reflection on him as a person and where he is happy in his business.
You know what? You've hit it right there again. It's where I know where Nico lives. He's got a heart of gold and all that. So, but I just think I've been to his house in the neighborhood where he's lived. He's like, he's got everything that he's got everything that he needs and wants and needs, and and more money is not going to make a difference in his life. He's not. I don't think he's not motivated. I'm talking about Nico, but it can be. This is just the thing of. This is the individual who you show him the thing, and if he doesn't want it, you move on to the next person.
Because and you can't take it personally or take it to mean that what you're doing isn't working, because the majority of people are going to say no. It's as simple as that.
That's exactly,
because they don't see the value. But it's that one or two that say yes that makes the business run.
It's exactly what you say there. I don't take it personally that he's saying no. That it's just, it's not something that it's not appealing to him. He doesn't see the value in it, and that's.
So in that sense, it's up to you really about whether or not you want to go back to Nico. If you think there's a small chance he might say yes with a new and improved way of delivering how you present it, which just keep it nice and simple. Like, we don't need to be going super in depth with everything, as well as the discounted offer, because you're trying to get this thing off the ground. If you think there's a chance that you might say yes to that, then go and try. If not, then maybe we don't bother.
I think I would try that. My current list of for estate agents on WhatsApp. my oldest brother, he's also an estate agent, and he does basically exactly the same thing as what I'm doing. And I did the same thing once again, where I showed him bells and whistles and this one, and I asked him this time, what kind of what does he use for his email? Is he building a database? I've got something better. I think there's something that's better that can help you in the long run, and that. Basically, it's just his system has been working for him for the last, whatever he's doing he's been limping on for the last 20 years, and if I know his personal conditions, he's also like £1 million, £10 million per year extra. It's not going to make a difference in his life. It's
and yeah, there's just because someone's in business doesn't necessarily mean that they're aiming for the top.
Yeah, it doesn't.
They're just
exactly.
Once they get to their level of comfort, I suppose, then that's it. They're just going to keep doing what they're doing because it's easy and it makes them money and it makes them enough money that they need. And that's fine. it's for us in what I do and what you're going to do is to find the people that have that ambition for more.
Yes.
And it's just a case of rolling through it. So I think.
So in summary for today, go ahead.
I was going to say, let's strip everything way back. That document you showed me, I would close that and not look at it for a while. I would stop looking at the best strategies and stuff on YouTube and social media strategies. We've got the strategy we need to get started, which is communicate with people, send them messages, get them on calls, sell them an offer. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that at the moment. So I think put a proposal together with Nico first. You're more than welcome to put something together and send it to me and see what I think. And then just start sending the messages to the existing estate agents that you have. That might take you, I don't know, a couple of weeks at most. Because if you do, I don't know, 4 or 5 a day again, it's not going to take you more than a couple of working weeks to do that. And then just see what we find from that.
Okay.
We can talk, if you want, we can talk a bit about the offer itself and what you're actually going to lead with, because I don't know how much that's changed based on what I'm looking at on the document we put together a while back for the...
Let me just get it open. I'll just open it again.
The customer avatar one in particular, just talking about the sweet sentence, if you like, where before we said, I help estate agents increase buyer and seller leads from their local area by using a proven system that generates 70 to 100 leads per month with zero spend on advertising.
I got the idea that is it's too long. Basically, so I help estate agents to close more, to get to close more deals, or to increase or this is what I've
you have to be careful here, because the process of closing a deal is different to getting a lead. So if your service changed that you want to offer people?
No, I think it's still the same. I think it's
but closing more deals is a natural result of that, because, well, one, they're getting more leads, which helps, and obviously your system is in place to close them as well. So you're saying that as a natural result of the same system, you're just basically talking about a different benefit on the front end.
Or what I could say is something. It is. I'm just thinking of my pain when I was an estate agent. Something is to get sellers, and preferably financially motivated, qualified, financially motivated sellers. I think that was my pain, to get financially motivated sellers.
Okay,
listings.
I like that, because if you say financially motivated or even just motivated, I help estate agents increase motivated sellers because they're going to know what motivated means. Someone that's serious about selling.
Yes.
I mean, to be clear, what I'm not saying that you're not going to necessarily say this exact thing. What I'm trying to get clear on here is what the message is going to be on these calls and what is the big transformation you're offering to these people.
That is, the transformation is the transformation that I'm thinking is get more. At the end of the day, it's about money. It's about, say, additional £100,000, an additional £100,000 per month. Because I feel that getting an amount and a number is probably more appealing to people.
It is, but it's very based on what you're helping people with at this stage and what we know so far at this stage. It's difficult to put a number on it like that. Because are you getting an extra £100,000 a month from your system?
That's a good question. It's difficult to measure because it's difficult to measure because I haven't done the. I could say from the sales I had was from my list. So from the list of leads that I had. So sort of, yes, sort of. But I'd rather not mention it because I can't solid with a solid straight face say yes.
Yeah. So if it's as simple as saying things like increase motivated seller leads and close more deals is it specifically from their local area? Is that something you'd still want to go with?
Yeah, let's say from their from your local.
Yeah. So increase motivated seller leads I help estate agents increase motivated seller leads and close more deals from the local area by using a proven system that helps generate 70 to 200 leads per month. That might need tweaking as well because the seller leads, I remember you saying before, you get a lot less seller leads than you do buyer leads.
So what I thought is to get to change the last bit to recurring sales. Because I thought that to also build a list and make people buyers and sellers remind you of your existence. A few weeks ago, a week ago. I'll use an example. There was a property that I listed and I worked on for several months and made a video and did a lot of I spent a lot of money on that place, on the marketing and driving around there. But eventually the property was sold, not through me, through another agent. But the buyer was somebody that I also spoke with, that I also had contact with. And I think the reason why is because I had the same property for less money. And it's happened many times where the buyer will buy through somebody else and they'll pay more for the property than what I've got, than what I had it. And it's if that person was in a way being able to remember me, or then and if I was able to stay in that person's mind, then they might have contacted me. And it's also it's also the system where people fall through the cracks. Is I've spoken to the person. It's very difficult to follow up with every possible buyer, because you might speak with hundreds of people. So that's and the same thing. If I say with recurring sales, it goes in the same way that part of a funnel is you have emails and contact with the people, because most people probably in the house where you've been living, you've been there for 5 to 7 years. So most people sell within 5 to 7 years. So they have to be constantly reminded with content and value and whatever and what have you that as you're doing with your emails.
To a point, because it's what also helps is providing a great service, obviously.
Yes.
Like we went back to our mortgage broker that helped us buy this house to buy the next house, because he was just amazing at what he did and a really nice guy, and he's local, and we used him again without even questioning it. We just contacted him first, and that was the end of it.
And he knew who you were. He didn't,
He did. I couldn't believe it. Like some of the stuff he was coming out with. It's been 8 years since we spoke, and he was remembering stuff, and it was crazy. But okay, so I'll send you the tweaked version of this. But what you get with these calls, when you're doing these calls, it's like you just trying to explain the recurring side of it and how it all works. That's when you're starting to get into the realms of they're just going to, because they don't understand it necessarily, the blinkers are just going to come down, and they're just going to be like,
land, though.
I don't know what this guy's talking about. It's just focusing on where they are, where they want to be, which is literally more leads and closing more deals. And you can also talk about the benefits of the long term and building a database that is an asset to your business. Just focusing on those things, and then just giving a brief rundown on how you're going to do that for them. And I don't mean showing them Kartra tutorials and everything else. It's just the bullet pointed list that we put together that speaks to the benefits of each point, like just really simple. They can understand what that means and how it helps them. And then just see what happens from that.
Okay.
Like try and keep the calls 30 minutes, 45 minutes max, and just go through the same process. We don't need to completely reinvent the wheel here. We just need to tweak what we've already done, because we've done some great work already.
Yep.
And I'm so happy with the initial results that you've got, getting those 15, 20 calls from, yes, they're on your contacts list, but they're still complete strangers, because you probably hadn't spoke to them in a long time.
Yes.
They might not even remembered who you were. So that is a really big positive. Now it's just a case of getting the right people on the calls and or matching that up with the right offer and how we present it. So for now, for the next, I would probably say for the next couple of weeks, let's look to book a call in for a couple of weeks' time. Sort out something you want to put together for Nico. Again, more than welcome to send it my way if you want me to double check it, or any ideas that you have that might be more enticing to him. And then just start sending the same messages to these 30 plus estate agents. And that is the next port of call.
Okay.
Let's keep it as simple as possible. Focus on this alone. The goal is to get people on calls and to have calls, and see what happens after that. Forget all these content, social media strategies and everything else for now. Forget all that stuff and just give yourself permission to just focus on this for a couple of weeks, and then we'll just figure out what we're gonna do after that.
Yeah. So this is it. To just get somebody to pay to take out their card and get somebody to pay, and then once they've paid, I can make a plan.
Because I can tell you from first-hand experience, when that happens, it just brings so much confidence and clarity around what you're doing. It doesn't mean that right now you've got the business sussed. I don't know why my voice is going this morning. Probably shouting at the baby. No. Where was I going with that?
No,
it doesn't mean you've got things sussed, and even after that first client, you're still going to be working things out, but it just feels amazing to get that first one in the door and just realize you've got something that people are willing to give you money for. So let's focus on doing that as quickly and as easily as possible. Then we can start to talk about how we potentially grow the business from there. in terms of different ways to bring in people onto calls, different ways to sell what you're doing, different offers you might be able to put together, anything else. Just forget all that, focus on this because it's the focus that's going to bring you the success,
Yeah.
not finding the next best strategy from someone on YouTube or wherever. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing any of those people, and their content and the strategies probably is great, but your success now is going to come from the focus of doing what
It's
we know is a good path right now, and it is a good path right now.
it's exactly. If you say, if I can get one person, I think, and I've said it before, if I could get one person to pay me, I would be wow. Is there actually somebody willing to pay for this?
Yeah, and they are out there. They're absolutely out there because you've got something that is truly valuable. It's just, again,
Cool.
it's just a case of matching up the right people with the right offer so that they see the value in that offer.
Yep.
It's as simple as that. So that's what we're going to focus on. So I'll send you a few notes on that to do that. Let's look at the calendar.
Let's have a look at the calendar. Yeah.
So I'm away on the 24th. So could you do earlier in that week of the 20th?
So in 10 days from the 24th, so
24th I'm busy. So I could
23?
do, yeah, I should be able to do the 23rd.
Wednesday, Thursday 23. Okay, we can do the same time.
Yep, 9 a.m. is good.
Yep.
10 a.m. your time.
Yep.
And yeah, again, just keep it nice and simple. Like, give yourself permission to forget everything else, which is quite freeing, honestly, because yeah, you can focus on anything else you want to do or your family or whatever, and just for the next, couple of weeks, just sending these messages and having conversations with people to get them on calls. I just leave it as that.
Now I found this. I'm started reading a book from Jordan Belfort, The Wolf of Wall Street. It's called. The book is named The Way of the Wolf. So, yeah, just.
And all he did in the beginning was literally just get on the phone and just speaking to people over and over and over again.
And that was before the internet even existed.
Exactly. Yeah. If anything, it's made it more difficult because there's just even more ways that we can succeed. And again, it doesn't mean those strategies are bad. It's just more options. And the more options you have, the more overwhelmed you get, and the more lost you get with what is going to bring you results, the less likely you are to succeed. So let's keep it nice and simple for now, just for the next couple of weeks. And just on that as well, the original contract was due to finish at the end of June, but I've now pushed it back to the end of July. So we've still got, I don't know, seven weeks, something like that. Because I know you were ill and you lost a bit of steam and got lost a little bit. So more than happy to give you that extra time because we didn't have a call for over a month anyway. So I'll give you an extra month on that one.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Dan.
No worries.
Anyway, so this year in the town where we live, it's they call it Little Saturday. Many people here from 2 p.m. in the after Fridays on 2 p.m. Many businesses they close. So you find many people at the golf club.
Nice. Yeah, I might actually go to the driving range now. I might do. I'm obsessed. As soon as I start, it's weird. I've always got to have something that I really focus on that I want to improve at and get better. So it was the bikes for a long time, which is why I started the business in that.
Yeah.
I stopped riding a couple of years ago, like competitively. And I think golf just filled that void of something that I can just,
My older brother
he
used to be an aspiring pro golfer, and he played. He was in South Africa. You have the Sunshine Tour. He played for about 2 years. Was on the Sunshine Tour and
oh wow,
played. He didn't make any money. He just broke even. But yeah, I used to know every golfer. The names of the top 100 golfers, and if you ever get the opportunity, South Africa, there's a Sun City golf course, the Gary Player Country Club. Yes, it's absolutely beautiful. It's
yeah, we definitely want to come to South Africa at some stage. My wife in particular is really keen to do like the safari stuff. Maybe you'd have place we could rent and just have all this land.
Now, my wife, she does she makes custom tours for.
Oh, nice.
She designs custom tours for people from. So that basically every person that comes does something different. So yeah, if you ever want to come,
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. Yeah, we'll get down that way. It's always when you're weighing up like where you're going to go for a trip, when you think of South Africa, it's just such a long way that it's difficult sometimes to do it. That and New Zealand is somewhere that's always been high on my list, but New Zealand's even further away. But
But anyway, Dan, thanks. Nice talking to you. And
yeah, no worries.
you.
Really good to catch up.
Okay.
Glad you and the family are feeling better. We'll get
Thank
a
you.
bit more focused now and start moving forward and hopefully get some results soon.
Okay, go pack your clubs.
I will.
Okay, take care.
All right. See ya.
Just bye.